Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. This is video 46, Heaven at 20%. How was your day? Did you just wake up? How was your sleep? I hope everything's going very well for you and you're happy and healthy and feel heaven every day. We're doing our best to make the world heavenly, and we shall succeed because this is God's time. This is the era when Reverend Moon was able to come and overcome all suffering, all of God's pain and the separation that God experienced from His children, and reunite all God's children. That is our mission. Reunite all God's children with our Heavenly Creator, with God. So, yes, this is a brand new day, a brand new video. Very exciting. We're going to discover some things here. And so it's evening here in Los Angeles area. I don't live in Los Angeles, but on one of the surrounding communities. It's probably Los Angeles County. And yeah, it's a beautiful day here. Just finished my work. It's 8:12 in the evening here on Saturday, July 20th. So, what is planned for us to discover tonight, today? So the more we focus on my little prayer, as you know, and I've been slacking on it a bit, but sometimes I get busy thinking about other things. But I came right back to it today because when I bump into something or something goes clearly wrong, then I'm reminded, what am I praying? What am I thinking? It's kind of like a course correction. You know, I end up where I don't want to be. And I say, wait a minute, where was I before that happened? So today I immediately started praying again. I don't know, whatever it was at work, you know, something, nothing, no big deal. But it reminds me to stay focused on heaven. And my prayer is, I pray to end the suffering right now of all the people in the spirit world and the physical world, starting with those who are suffering the most. And then I just kind of keep that in the center of my mind as much as I can. When I'm when I'm at work, I have to think about what I'm doing, but there are times definitely during the day. Oh gosh. I don't know if I need sleep or what. I guess so. You know, I'm not at the top of my game, you might say, because I'm not, you know, I don't have my distilled water. It says distilled water, but I don't know what else they put in there. It doesn't say for drinking. It says for machines that require distilled water. So, you know, that gives me an excuse to put in God knows what's in there. But anyway, when I get started on distilled water again, I know for a fact I'll have I'll feel better, I'll feel stronger, need less sleep, I'll have less physical things bothering me, and yeah, and thank God I have my diet, which is good, even though, you know, some of it, spaghetti might have toxins in it and stuff, but I'm doing the best I can here. All the vegetables, you know, hopefully they're not too laden with pesticides, herbicides, and chemical fertilizers, you know, and anyway, so heaven, we are here to bring heaven to those who are in such desperate need. Those are the people that we are alive. That's why we were born, actually, is so that we could be the people to end suffering. Because when people suffer, God suffers, and there are people that are dying and being tortured and killed and suffering from horrible things right now, right this minute, and God needs us to fix those things. Our God is just like us. If we have children, if we have 1,000 children and one of them is suffering, then we're here. our whole life is to is to end the suffering of that child. And so in order to love God, we need to, and it's a lot more than one. It's millions and billions of people that, are having to live on $1 a day or whatever it is, and they can't eat right, they don't have the right clothing or shelter. It is a tragedy, and we are here to fix it, and God has the solution. That's why we're here. We're making these videos so that we can embody God 100%. I watched a little movie on Elvis Presley yesterday, and it was mostly answers from the people that spent their lives with him, his group. He had a group of 5 or 6 people with him usually, and they were always together, they were always friends, they were always doing the same things pretty much, but Elvis was the one to go up on stage and entertain. And they had one, anyway, they said, he said that was the last tour. The tour that he died on, it was the first day of the tour, I think, of the second day. It was August, he died on August 16th, 1977. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. August 16th, 1977 at night, and at 2:45 p.m. I think he was declared dead. But he was going to go ahead with that tour, and once the tour was over, he was going to move to Hawaii and completely clean his diet, stop taking all the drugs, because they were obviously, he knew it. He knew that they were very bad influence for him, but he, one person said that he loved the drugs, but I'm not so convinced that people are just not addicted to the drugs. They don't love them at all, because they know if you know what, he had a person driving him, pushing him to earn money, and half of it went to Elvis and half of it went to this guy, but he was extremely pushy, and apparently he could lose over $1 million gambling in one night, and then Elvis would be pushed out to perform and to go on tour, because his popularity, his records weren't selling like they were, so he had to go on tour to make this money. And essentially this guy just pushed him to death, because everybody through Elvis's career, they had to they stayed up late, and they'd have like 150 guests in their house after a concert, and then they'd go to bed at 3 and get up at 5, and so they were taking uppers, speed or whatever, to perform, and then that just kills people. And so anyway, Elvis, it was good to know that Elvis had he wanted to, and he was a spiritual. He went to actually the Self-Realization Center in Los Angeles to walk with his hairdresser, the guy that did his hair. Really interesting guy. There was an expensive. It was a 56-minute video, and I'd say probably at least 20 minutes of it was from the guy that did his hair. He's really a super guy. And Elvis said, "I need to learn what you know," or in not exactly worded that way necessarily, but he knew that he wanted to have the basis, kind of like a basis in peace, that the guy that did his hair had. And so they would spend time every month, I guess, at some point at the Self-Realization Center in Los Angeles, just walking around, and it was peaceful. Maybe talk to some people, and so it's good to know that Elvis had plans to clean. Oh, and you know what he was going to do? He was going to go to Hawaii for a year, I think, clean himself up, and then he was going to come back and get into acting. He was going to become he was going to become an actor, more serious, because his music was not selling, I guess, but he wanted to do acting, I think, and he probably was led. I'm sure that was his calling, to be a musician and then be an actor. But and he had a big heart, and he wasn't a liar, and I think it would have been a great asset to all the people around him. if he'd become an actor. And to the people that watch the movies, hopefully, if he could find the scripts he liked. Anyway, so yeah, and everybody just talked to him about what a good person he was. When he was around, you just felt he was always contributing. He was always upbeat. That's why people wanted to be around him, because he was always encouraging and appreciative to people around him. And that's a great way to be. So, yeah, heavenly. He was a heavenly man, and that's what made him well known and well liked, and made him sing beautifully, because God was in him, and still is, I'm sure. Wherever you are, Elvis, he's close by, I'm pretty sure. One time in Palm Springs, I lived in a house, and they said, "Oh, this was Elvis's bedroom." I don't think it was. They just say that. It's these three guys from Hungary. I think they were from Hungary. Romania. I think they were from Romania. The three brothers. And I worked with them at my job. The first job I got, and the second job I got in the Palm Springs when I went there was as a greenskeeper at a golf course. And they worked there. Two of them, three of them, at least two of them worked there. Maybe all three of them worked there. Anyway, so so I rented a room, big old room, from them, and there was a pool and everything. So that was awesome. And then I did go work. I worked for a catering company one time, and we worked at his house. This was his house, the house he lived in, up on at the north end of Palm Springs, at the very end of the homes in Palm Springs. It was overlooking, the desert between there and the 10 freeway, and yeah. So that was interesting, and you could look at the rooms and the memorabilia and everything, and we just did one little catering thing there, I think. Anyway, that was after he passed away. I moved there in 86. So that was in 1987. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so we are an asset, just like Elvis Presley. We each, as members of heaven and people that God can come inside of, we have a great appeal. And just like Elvis Presley, all people will be that way, and attract each other and love each other. It's normal. It's natural. That's our natural when we're born. Babies are so attractive. That's for that reason, because they're 100% godly. 100% godly. And then, so we need to focus on the life. We need to focus on the life that makes us heavenly. And that, because we live in the era wherein this is possible, and all mankind is destined to receive God's Spirit, because we are all God's children, and that is the nature of the restoration of the world to God's world that He intended at creation, centered on true love, is the world that we are born to receive and to enjoy. And nothing in the whole universe will stop every single human being from being in that world, because God is our creator. We have no other creators. There's just one. And true love created God, and God is centered on true love, and true love is what makes life possible. Love makes life possible. So whenever we're living or grateful for anything about life, then we're feeling love. So this is video 46, Heaven at 20%. 4 more like this. 4 more steps like this, 20%. 20, 40, 60, 80, 40 to 60 to 80 and to 100. That's 4 steps. of 20% more, and we'll be there. And just, yeah, it's wonderful to imagine the world that we are about to experience. Seriously wonderful to imagine, and to believe, and to understand, and to know. As Reverend Moon said, believing is one thing, but knowing is another. And we need to, when we know something, then anyway, whatever the topic was, whatever the point about that was, but we need, yeah. So we're aiming to know. So, what else? Video 46, 7 at 20%. Yeah, it's good to be here with you. I'm glad you're watching. Alright, well, it's going to be a very short one, 16 minutes and 4 seconds. 5, 6. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow in video 47, heaven at 21%. 21, that's 3 times 7. That's like the perfection number, the number for perfection. So hopefully we'll be able to round up a perfect foundation of perfection at 21%. Tomorrow on Sunday, the 21st of July, 2019. Alright, take care. I hope I'll be praying for you. I pray for all mankind. And together we're going to end all suffering, starting with those people who need it, who are suffering the most. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.